Hello, uh, this is Sucrose, back to play some La-Mulana. Hi Smurfton. So, let's see, I think everything should be working. Um, so, I got stuck on that room, room 33, and I tried everything I could possibly think of. And I eventually gave in and asked Smurfton if the secret to room 33 is in that room. If basically if I could solve room 33 inside of room 33, and he said no, which well, it's good and bad, because on the one hand it means I don't have to go to that room and bang my head against the wall. Literally, I was trying to bang my head against every ceiling. Um, but on the bad side, it means that I don't know what to do. But I started thinking about the one clue that we haven't used, which is the joy, open, close, anger. And I realized that there are faces. And they're at different places. I've seen them in multiple rooms. So that's the one thing. And then I immediately thought, the daises that are in room 33, and I've talked about this in the 5th video, which I actually haven't posted, but the idea is that if I can't get to those daises, then maybe the daises represent something in the game. So what if they represent something in the top right and the middle, and I don't know, maybe something's missing in the bottom right? And I had been trying to like stand in the bottom right or something, but then I remembered, and this was like the first stream, I noticed something funky in room 4, and it's faces. So I want to go check them out. I think that I have a good feeling about this. I also remember there's faces around our favorite room, which is the horizontal spikes, because I remember saying, "Oh, I feel like they're laughing at me." So that's like, you know, maybe that's joy or embarrassment. I don't know, but that's the idea. So that's the face right there. Or I don't know what the thing up top is. My first thought is that if these faces are representing daises, I should put a weight on it, but I can't. Excuse me. Let me make sure everything is still going. Okay. So this is the idea. I don't know if we're going to have to find 4 faces. I mean, those are 4 faces, right? But it looks like this one's the same as this one. This looks like a werewolf with goggles. I have no idea. This looks like tentacles. So, what's the clue again? Joy, open, close, anger. So, yeah, so you can see what I was talking about. There's fire behind here, like this kind of fire. So now that I'm here, then okay, thank you, Smurfton. Now, as far as I can tell, this one is the same as this one. I'm pretty sure we tried throwing stuff. I mean, I figure joy is the top and the bottom one. Oh, hello. Now, I could be completely wrong about this room. This is... So, my first thought was that we should look in 3. Because the room is 33, and the daises are bookended by 3s. So you want like either the 3 or the room next to the 3, which would be 2. Which actually has a face in it. Let's go back there. I feel like of every enemy, I keep saying, oh, this one's the worst. But they're all the worst. Okay. So, I mean, I could imagine that this is Joy. He looks pretty happy. I mean, he looks, you know, he's digging life. Don't kid myself. Is that the wolf / horse? I mean, the wizards are bad. The witches are bad. They're all terrible. Oh, the actual horse? Are those the ones that are like invincible sometimes? That are in the endless corridor? Okay, all right. The wolf horse, got it. I didn't even hate them that much until the Hell Temple. Okay, so I don't know what to do, but so I'm thinking, okay, look, it's buffeted by 3s, so and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense because it's a 3 on the left and a 3 on the right, but there's a dais next to a 3, so I'm thinking, oh, well, hey, why not? Maybe it's room 2, because there's a face in it, and we haven't used these feelings. But room 4 has 3 different faces in it. And there's something weird behind that wall. So these are both sort of... These both make me suspicious. Now, I haven't been noticing, but maybe there's faces all through Hell Temple. Like I say, I know that there's a face in, I want to say 25 or 26. But they're probably everywhere. The question is, what do we do? So, if they're represented by daises, I feel like I should put weights on them. I mean, I can't seem to shoot them or hit them or push them or maybe it's saying that there's, so maybe it's just saying there's something in the room. This is why I'm thinking maybe streaming's not the best thing, because it's like, okay, I have this idea, and I sort of thought I was going to go and throw a shuriken, and it was going to be like, you know, open up. But not the case. So now I'm stuck again. But I feel pretty good about this theory. I mean, something to do with the faces. The one up top looks like anguish. Which I guess is pretty close to anger. But so did the so did that other one in room 4. So here's 3, right? So it's like just to the left of 3. There's a... well, there's 2 daises. I don't know. Maybe the goal is to open. Right? Don't I want to open a door? Like, what if... Oops. You'd think after the witch's room, I'd be better at platforming. But it's not the case. I just did it like 800 times. Now, we've shot these before. I think we've whipped them. Like, this could be... I could totally imagine this is anger. But open, close, I don't know exactly what that means. I can't scan them since they're in the foreground. Well, Smurfson, I think that's it for the entertainment, because I'm pretty much back to out of ideas. So at this point, I feel like I have to wander around looking for faces and finding one that I can interact with in some way. But let's see if we can't predict something. So if it really is 2, because it's next to the 3, then I would say the other one should be at 14 or maybe 20, because it's in the middle. So we can teleport to this one. 14 is pretty easy to get. All right. Well, I'm sure somebody else will stop by too. It's just not that you're going to feel obliged to stick around, but I don't know how to make this entertaining because I'm not actually doing anything. And I understand that's why people watch streams, maybe just to see people figure things out, but I guess I'm just remarking on the fact that I feel a little uncomfortable when I don't know what to do. So I'm just gonna traverse the rooms that I have already traversed, and I'm gonna look for faces and maybe take notes. I'm gonna say like this one has joy, anger, anguish, joy. I don't know. Maybe I should do that in a text thing. Got it. Oh, all sorts of stuff going on. All right. Yeah. Makes sense. Okay. And this is coming through, yeah. So, right. So I'm going to start adding to the map joy, anger, anguish, joy. At least what I think these faces are. And we'll add to the Deus's room. There's just joy. Well, there's anguish and joy. Can't quite see that, but. So the idea is that maybe we'll find a pattern here, or maybe we'll find a room where there's the 4 faces we're looking for, or I'm not really sure. Ah! This is honestly... God, I'm glad this room isn't the one that came after the wall jumps. I'm pretty sure I would have rage quit. Oh, these are the Amphisbaena faces. Okay, so we've got all sorts of faces from the bosses in this place. I just thought they were generic dragons. Alright. No faces so far. Okay, this was the grenade room. Okay, we're back to here. So the only faces we saw were 2 and 4. So now we'll go left and trace it back around. Now we've got faces. Joy, anger, and anguish. I really can't tell what it is. That's an interesting idea. I'm gonna keep doing this, and because I think I can still see a pattern. I'm thinking the wolf is anger, and that this one down here is anguish. I mean, like, it is kind of suspicious. I'm looking for open and close. Like maybe these are supposed to be door handles or something. I don't know. But we've got joy. I mean, we could just say like human wolf. I don't even know what the other thing is. Joy, anger, anguish. But I'm going to call it this for now. And these will be easy to see because they stick out. So if it looks like they make a pattern, I'll come back and color these. If it spells a password or something, it's going to be very interesting. Okay. Oh, that was it's funny that never happened before. All right. Faces, faces, faces. There's also the background faces, which have been ever present in the Hell Temple. The skeletons. But I've been actually trying to look to, because I'm expecting something with the eyes or something since they glow. I don't have high confidence. I always thought that the lights in the guidance gate were supposed to be signals. But they turned out not to be. So, anyway. Joy, anger, and anguish. Sorrow. I don't know. It looks like tentacles. So, whatever emotion is associated with tentacles. Slipperiness. I'm not sure if that's an emotion, but... I'm pretty sure I've whipped everything in Hell Temple. But... I can't leave these faces unwhipped. Alright. Oh, and by the way, I figured this one out afterwards. You have to do it softly. And if you do it softly, they don't move. Which is a very strange puzzle. I mean, I like it, because I was thinking much more complicated stuff. Okay. I have to say I like the elephants. There's so many that I dislike, but I like the elephants. Alright, no faces. The skeletons look... all their faces are the same. Okay, no faces here. The mechanic of being soft? Of jumping softly? Like what? I mean, unless it's a spoiler. I can't think of other things in the game being. Yeah. The minecart elevator, sure. The blue platform. Well, the broken elevator in Twin Labyrinths, I thought you had to just fall on it from a great height. Which is kind of the opposite of soft. Oh, it can hit me through the block? Also for the sky disc, I felt like you had to hit it hard enough. So it's I mean, maybe you're saying that hardness is like softness, it's just the opposite. Yeah, so it's in the sense that pressure matters. I guess that's what you're saying. Pressure matters. I'll agree with that. Somehow we managed to get hit by a grenade through this wall. And we never did before. But, okay, so we're in the Vi Eyes room. And there's no blocks. So far we have 3 rooms with blocks, which is, I'm glad it's so few. Is this going to be some kind of like code, like 429? It's going to be somebody's phone number. I have to call the phone number and they'll tell me what to do. Honestly, I wouldn't even be that surprised. All right. This room, no blocks. Nope. Bird. Oh, the birds. Oh, the birds are the worst. And the monkeys. And the horses. And those things up the top, I hate them too. Gold gargoyles? I don't even know. I don't understand that. TFW, is that feeling when? And then burb? Oh, the birds. Okay, gotcha. That's a little too memey for me. But I figured it out. I figured it out. It's just like a La-Mulana puzzle. No, it's okay. It's okay. All right. No blocks. No blocks. No blocks. No blocks. Which is good. I'd much rather have fewer blocks than too many. Because if it's too many, it's going to be harder to figure out, I think. Yeah, they can. I mean, that room was hard the first time I went through it. To figure out where to stand and stuff. I had quite a bit of trouble. Now I'm looking at all these rooms and I'm like, how easy things were back then. Okay. All right, so Tiamat's room, we've got 3 faces. Now this is the same position as 4. I mean, sort of speaking. Tiamat, so we've got joy, anger, and anguish. Hell Temple is the only place where they can appear more than twice in a room. You talking about birds? Oh, the ninjas. Oh, that's. Oh, yeah. Oh, that explains so much. Yeah. I'm thinking in like the top of the top left of the Tower of the Goddess, and I remember thinking, oh, I must have to kill the hidden enemies because of some other puzzle, and they only appear twice. I remember now. Interesting. They just turned that little thing off to make Hell Temple harder, I guess. All right, so Tiamat's room, which we have extra space here. All right, Tiamat's room is at the same sort of position as 4, analogously speaking. And it also has joy, anger, and anguish. It's... yeah, I don't know. It's strange. I'm going to hold off judgment on Hell Temple until I finish it, if I ever finish it. But I feel like it kind of makes them mysterious in the rest of the game. So I'm not necessarily against it. I'm like, where did they go? They must be ninjas. All right. Anger, joy, anger, anguish. That's all I see. There is another block. So based on this, we might expect that 19 and I can't actually see this because of something, but so 23 might have blocks in them. That's what my current prediction is. Okay. Okay, so no blocks, but we have 2 burbs. No faces. Gosh darn it. Come here. Come here, you winged devils. No faces. Okay, no faces here. Let's go down. I don't see anything, really. Never understood this. Excuse me. Faces in the background look normal. Okay. So Smurfton, I think maybe you missed this, or I did some of this off stream, but I spent like hours trying to solve this tablet that says listen to this, play this, let the sound play by playing the music player. And I played it for like hours, and don't tell me. But I think I solved it by just pressing some blocks in that room down below. And honestly, I still don't know exactly what I did, but the last thing I did was I pressed the middle one all the way down to the bottom. I don't really get what that has to do with sound, but it opened up the bridge. Again, don't tell me, because I figured out the 5 pillars afterwards, so maybe I'll figure this one out afterwards. And then, of course, this has a drop, but in addition there's a hand, and I still don't exactly know what triggers it. He gets me sometimes, so I double jump, and sometimes he doesn't get me, sometimes he does. I'm not sure, but it works out. But I just thought you might find it interesting, since I'm sure you know how it works, to see my perspective on it. But he really startled me with the fist. So no blocks in the last two rooms. I was too busy talking. I'm gonna make sure. All right, no blocks in these rooms. This puzzle was pretty simple. It's a good fist, yeah. All right, it looks like we've got a joy here. So this is the one that I thought was mocking me as I fell to my doom over and over. So horizontal spikes. Oh, you're right. You're right. Good call. Good call. I'll just teleport. So when I had given up and asked you if 33 was solvable, I had started trying to take the key fairy all the way from here, all the way to 33, and I tried it a couple times, and I said, I can't do this. I don't have the fortitude. All right. All right, so we got faces. So two anguishes. So this is, I think, the second room we've seen that has two of the same thing. I'm gonna start screenshotting these. I really should have done that to begin with. Now watch, it's gonna get me this time. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just when I step on the platform, but it gets me sometimes and I don't expect it. Right. So we've got joy. I wrote that down. That's the only block. Now we've got to do this nonsense. Oh! That looks like anger. I guess we'll come back to it. Oh, you don't know how the hand works? The fist? Interesting. I thought it was, I mean, I've been thinking all sorts of stuff, like the number of times you jump on the bridge or something. Now, we can go down into the Hell 5 pretty easily later, so I'm going to do that later. So we have a block here, and I think it's anger. It looks like anger. So are you decompiling stuff? Or you're somehow extracting data from config files or something? From data files? I saw that you were a speedrunner. Tool assisted speedrunner. Interesting. All right, let's do this. This is still tricky, even though I can kind of run the rest of it. So let me focus just for a second. Excuse me. Yeah, that looked like anger. I should have screenshotted it, but... Okay. feel like we can do this about once out of every 2 attempts. Alright, well there's the failure. The next one's success for sure, right? Worse. Oh, is that the person? Something he's I don't know. I don't really know anybody in the community. But I did see a name that has worse in it. Worse figured out how to translate the script.rcd file, which contains the location of all enemies, pots, hitboxes, blocks, shops, etc., and the associated logic. Did most of the figuring out which object represents which thing and what their arguments are. Worse. So his name is Worse Than You. So it's some kind of data file that is custom to La-Mulana, and you've tried to reverse engineer it. Is that basically what you're saying? Successfully. So not just tried to. All right, hold on a second. Ah! All right, third tries a charm. So yeah, I don't know. So mostly being that there are arguments which don't do anything. Yeah, it seems possible that that's actually just because they don't really do anything at all. Vestigial code, vestigial data. Oh, that's the random that that my strategy is completely weak to. It's when he stops on that leftmost thing. I assume as a tool-assisted speedrunner, builder, or whatever, I don't know how you call it. Do you know how to manipulate the RNG? Or of at least certain things? Okay. Yes, but not in a live setting. Oh, is it complicated? That was my fault. My God. I'm not focusing. All right. 8th tries a charm. The only seed is the system clock. It doesn't take your inputs as part of the seed. Interesting. Interesting. Uh-huh. Do speedrunners, non-tool assisted speedrunners, consider it fair game to set the seed? Like start at a certain time? Or is that not part of the culture? All right. Now just 3 more difficult rooms and good to go. Oh, okay. All right. So like if you enter a room and there's 3 things that use the RNG, then that's gonna mess up the seed for the 4th thing that you want. Okay, no blocks. Oh. No blocks. No blocks. Joy. Open. Close. Anger. I'm screenshotting this. What meant about what? Okay, so now I'm going to look at my little picture that I drew, which tells me which of the blocks are completely fake and which are just crumbly, to remind myself. Okay. All right, beautiful. So, still no anger, joy, sadness. Takes the system clock when you launch the game, then multiplies it by a large number, adds a different one. Takes the remainder from dividing by 7 FFF. Every time anything uses RNG. Yeah, gotcha. And something you do might cause it to change whether it calls the uses the next RNG. So like, if I kill this Mudman, it has to spawn another one, and then it's going to use like it might call the RNG. Whereas if I waited, it might call the RNG less, and then you've got them off. I think I understand. So yeah, I'm a computer scientist. I don't know. For what it's worth. All right. I imagine a lot of people who play La-Mulana are programmers and things like that, mathematicians. No blocks in this room. Yeah. Yeah, so if you don't call one, if you don't kill one, and then you go to the next room, you're going to get completely different random numbers. So I'm a little bit. I'm kind of weirded out here because we haven't had any blocks in a while. Honestly, I'm angry at this room than the platforming at this point. I think I've spent like 3 hours in this room. So we've been through the whole dungeon. Would I say that I'm joy, open, close, anger? I think I'm anger. I think I'm anguish. Does this hold on? Does this mess things up? No. Okay. So we've got these rooms like here, 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 here. Here. I don't even know how to color these. You'd think it'd be edit style, but when I hit edit style, it gives me this like horrible thing. Like, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I don't. I don't think we've missed a room, but I might have missed marking a room. If you see something that I missed marking, let me know. Uh, so I'm still stumped by what the open-close part is. I think it's, I'm not going to say safe to say, but it's believable that the happy face is joy and the werewolf is anger. But the only other block we've seen is anguish. Or the tentacles. Which presumably aren't tentacles. I'm not sure if I can click links. I can't. There we go. I have the desktop version. Maybe that's why things are different. But I'm not sure. Yeah. So we've only seen 3 different faces. So the first thing that comes to mind is that the anguish face is both closed and open, or is you do something to it. Style menu. Huh? Is that somebody drinking tea? I'm also new to Twitch, and I'm not familiar with the pictures emoji. Edit? No, it's not edit. I don't know. I mean, I could do shapes. Someone drinking tea. Looks like a Lego woman. It's okay. All right. But regardless, we've only seen 3 different pictures. One of them is almost definitely joy. Another one is somewhat less likely, but still pretty likely to be anger. The third is indecipherable, but it seems to be anguish or tentacles or doorknobs or something like that. Let me see if I can pull up the screenshots. I don't think I can stream them, but I can look at them. Screenshots. Profile, screenshots. Screenshots. Okay, so I will, let's see, let me, I go to this, move them here, and now OBS, That's not quite right. Okay, so I think you can see that. Um, yeah, so to me, it's like a head bowed down with two tentacle arms coming up. Uh, you know, someone can be closed off, I suppose. Um, I mean, like it looks like hooks or tentacles, or these also could be eyes, and this is a nose. I mean, you know, it's not really clear. Um, but at any rate, I don't see how to interact with them. Okay, so I'm going. So this is the drawing of the witches room. That helps me get through. Um, okay. So all that is to say, I have no idea. But in my head, maybe there's like, it's like the mantra puzzle where you have to go to different rooms in a certain order and do something. Um, like visit all the joys, and then all the closes. I mean, all the opens. I still don't know what open is. It's also interesting that there aren't any here. Um, Another thing is I've gone ahead and slept in all 5 of the hells. I don't know what that does, but I've done it, and I've double checked that I've slept in all 5. Um, I thought that would unlock this. Joy, open, close, anger. Right. Joy, open, close, anger. Man, I really thought I'd be able to come on here and throw some shurikens and be done with it. So let's see. So what are these? What patterns do we see? So most of these have multiple blocks, but 2 of the rooms only have 1 block. In fact, those blocks are joy and anger. But I don't like those rooms. What could open and close possibly even mean? I mean, you don't... There aren't things that you open in this game. I mean, there's the one-way doors, but you... There's a one-way door between joy and anger, actually. If this is the only room with joy and the only room with anger, there is a one-way door. But I've done this cycle like a bajillion times. I hate those rooms so much, but I feel like we should take a look. So, Smurfton, there's no sense staying in this room right now, right? That's what you're telling me. There's nothing I can do in this room. Okay. I noticed that there's no elephants on this platform or this platform, which is kind of strange. But okay. But there are 2 extra elephants here. But alright, I'm gonna go focus on the joy and the anger. God, I hate to leave this area because I just hate doing that platforming. I'm so tired of it. So tired of it. I will never forgive them for not putting a checkpoint. Oops. Alright, so this is joy. So the idea is, I mean, I don't even have an idea, but it is interesting. There's joy. Then you can go up here and you can open a door, and you can close the door. Then you can fall down, and there's anger. But I don't really know what to do with it. When you're here, make sure. Joy, open, close, anger. I mean, it's left to right, joy, open, close, anger. I don't know if that's even meaningful. Like, just because they're left to right in the tablets doesn't mean anything. But yeah, so if you fall here, you can't interact with this because this pillar's in the way. Okay, and there's nothing down here. Looks like sadness to me. It's like a Rorschach test. So we have yet to encounter a single block that has a face on it that we can interact with. So maybe the faces are meant to say instructions. I mean, the tablets are meant to say instructions like first, and again, this is an assumption that left to right. I mean, the designers are Japanese, so why not right to left or top to bottom? But, oh yeah? But maybe we're supposed to do it in some order. I guess I'm curious if it's not something that I'm in control over. Only if it's like RNG kind of stuff where it's not something that I'm doing. If it's something that I'm doing that's causing it, I don't want to know today. I want to know when I'm finished with... okay. There's a lot of stuff about Hell Temple that I can't wait to spoil myself on when I'm finished with the run. I really, really, really want to see a speed run of this. But yeah, like, I think you can see these little things here. I know that the collapse is here. And then I think if I just walk, it's going to hit me. Yeah, I mean, this isn't super important to what we're doing, but... yeah, it's okay. I've figured it out well enough, and that's what I'm going to stick with until I finish Hell Temple. So. So what could open and close mean? I mean, it could be that door. That you do open and close doors. That's a little suspicious. And I remember saying to myself, and I said it out loud, why is there a door here? You're already limited by the ladder. I guess let's go back. Because that is really suspicious. Why is there a door? Let's see if we can avoid getting punched. Like, why would you want to come back in? First of all, there's nothing to do. Guess you could kill the bird. But you can kill the bird from here, so that's not it. So it's suspicious that this door is here. And doors open and close. So that makes me doubly suspicious. And it separates joy from anger. The first time you visit, there's a dais there, which opens the right... Oh, okay. So that way it forces you to go down and come up to open... something. You're saying there's a dais on the left side of the screen here, so that you have to go down first? God damn it. I thought I had something. God. But doesn't that tell a nice story? There's a open and closing door between joy and anger. That's sounds pretty much it to me. That's a shame. I think the designers could give a little bit more of a hint. Or at least make sure that there weren't wrong hints. But it is hell after all. I thought maybe I could jump into it just anyway. Stop hitting me, birds. I should have got a health fairy. You're useless! Alright. So, what could open and close be? I mean, what else do you open other than doors? Chests, but you don't close them. You don't close chests in this game. And then there's the whole thing, room 33 looks like it's telling you a story, a picture story. Top right, middle. I mean... Now I wish I had screenshotted all of the rooms. Can I do this? Is that? Oh, that's two. Um. Let's forget these spikes for now. I'm sure we have to come here and do something even more horrible than we did to get through it. But let's just pretend that that's not the case. Let's go look at the very first thing we considered. Smurfton, I'm almost afraid to ask, but what's the current time for speed running Hell Temple? I mean, just approximately. I don't, just because, I'm like 10 hours into it. Oh my God, 15 minutes? Wow. It's pretty humbling. I mean, that's gotta be joy, right? God, what if this whole theory is wrong? But it's so, isn't it strange that at the very beginning, it was like, hey, what's up with this? Isn't it funny that the faces come up again? When you, I mean, at least joy and anger. Assuming that a werewolf with goggles is anger. Doesn't look like anyone submitted the time that Naru Minhai had during his using the glitch that goes through walls. Oh, run of the full game. These open close, sort of. They lift and drop. Oh my goodness. Okay, so 14 minutes and 55 seconds on hard mode. This is not hard mode, by the way. Yeah, that's much faster than I had anticipated. But I guess, I mean, I guess I've spent most of the time trying to do skill building in terms of the platforming and puzzle solving, which you don't have to do in a speedrun. But it's still kind of crazy that it only takes 15 minutes, and this is about 10 hours, I think. And I'm not even done. Yeah. I mean, you're not talking about tasks, are you? Are you talking about tool assisted? I mean, I can open and close that, the squasher. That seems a stretch. Hidden Distance. Yeah, Hidden Distance. I watched his Let's Plays of the normal game. What is it? Any percentage. This is so weird. If you go left, it stays open. If you go right, it closes. So earlier, when we came here and I solved it, I thought it was toggleable, but it's not actually. It's something more complicated. Yeah. It's very strange to me. Why would they let you do? Why would they do that? As if there's something over here that you need access to. It's very strange to me. But it opens and closes. Alright, here we've got joy, anger, and sorrow. Oops, saved it. Joy, open, close, anger. There's 4 tablets. There's 2 daises in room 33. I do not yet want a hint. I mean, I want a hint, but I also know that the solution is going to be a lot less satisfying. And so I don't actually want you to give me a hint. I wish I don't know. I mean, that's the thing with these kinds of puzzles is you can't undo hints. You can't undo knowledge. And there's no way of knowing beforehand. Yeah. So there's a few rooms that have all the symbols in them. There's other rooms that only have one. Some rooms that have duplicates. Anguish is duplicated there. Joy is duplicated there. But what the hell is open and close? Trapdoors open and close. That's all I know. By pushing this block down, you can sort of close the door, sort of. But there's no other faces in it. Oh. I didn't miss any rooms, though, did I? I mean, on this map, I've visited all the rooms and marked all the ones that have faces. I mean, don't tell me if I'm missing rooms, but what I mean to say is, are there any rooms I failed to mark on this map that I've already, been to, that I've already discovered? Like, did I somehow miss a face in room 7 kind of thing? Okay. So yeah, it's funny the way this works. Even the smallest hint is information, and it might not be right information, but like the fact that you were hesitant to answer makes me wonder if there's rooms I haven't been to, meaning that there's hidden rooms somewhere, like up here would be a good candidate, or maybe the insides of these circles. But they're not numbered. But on the third hand, the designers might still be tricky. Yeah. I appreciate it. My goodness. I just want the next checkpoint. Like, it seems so mean to not give a checkpoint. But I figure the checkpoint is going to be off of this block, because this checkpoint saves you from doing this. And so it's the same thing. This is going to save you from doing this. I'm sure that's how they thought of it. So there's got to be a checkpoint over here somewhere. So if I could just get 2 more rooms. Joy, open, close, anger. When I think of anger, I think of angering the snakes in the fire. What is that? I can't even remember what it's called. Fire World. But it's the faces. Joy. That's joy. That face is joy. He looks so happy, I think. I mean, honestly, this dude could be joyful too. He's looking pretty excited to me, but he's got teeth, and teeth are scary. So I think they mean anger for that. It weirds me out so much that there's so many joys, so many angers. Like, what could those tablets be trying? Why would they? Why did the tablets only have 1 word on them? First of all, why don't you just have commas? Why do you need more than 1 tablet? Is there some kind of spatial relationship where it's that kind of triangular pyramid thing? you know, what's supposed to be in the middle. I actually sat in that room for a while, the room 29, trying to figure out what should appear in the middle. I thought the puzzle was in that room alone. I mean, it still could be. I don't know. I killed the spider, the skull spider. Ugh. Tiamat. Why? They like cyclical things. So again, if this is like a mantra kind of puzzle, that relied on the fact that the fields wrap on themselves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. That's a shame. I was hoping there would be 20 in like a unit, and then I could somehow tile them and overlap them, and there'd be something having to do with these two rooms being twins, related somehow. But there's only 18 rooms, and if you look at a different one like this group, there's 21. Right? 5 times 3 is 15, plus 6 is 21. It's one too many. I started thinking that because this. Yeah. I actually realized that earlier, because it's always 4 across and 5 down. But yeah, that's another thing. It's kind of strange that they would adopt that format for the game and then not adopt it for this bonus level. That's kind of surprising to me. I thought that they did it because they had some kind of like, I don't know. That was just how they did maps, is that they had to be 20 things. But it's still a self-similar structure, so there could be patterns. So that was only true for classic. I guess like the surface is not 4 across for 1, right? Or is it? I don't have them in front of me. I see. Okay. Classic had 2 areas weirdly hacked together to create service, which makes sense. The Classic did seem very hackish. So many unanswered questions. What can you close and open? What is that third face? Do the faces have anything to do with these? Services 40 rooms if you remove the empty sky room. That's a lot. I'm surprised it's that big. I have a hard time looking at stuff that's not, I mean, thinking about the shape of things that aren't in front of me. But that seems kind of huge. I mean, as big as, yeah, Twin Labyrinths. So I don't even know. I mean, this fairy point is at the same point as the bomb puzzle. 3 is significant because this is 33. I don't know if they don't usually do puzzles like that, but it is 33 after all. And there are faces to the left of 3, but there's also faces other places. Another thing that's gone through my head is somehow that joy opens the door. I mean, we're trying to open a door. So it's like joy opens it and anger closes it. The thing that we want to do is open that obvious door in 33. What it, I mean, it appears to be. Uh, 22. I didn't understand 22. I still don't understand what I did to solve it. I think the only puzzle I actually really enjoyed was 24. 24 was good. No, I'm putting it off until I'll read through all the walkthroughs and see what it is. I mean, I know that I got the sound when I stepped on the middle block and went all the way to the bottom. Oh, I didn't notice that that there's somebody else in here. Hi, Worse Than You. I thought you were Smurfed in this whole time. Not a whole lot of people are want to watch me sit and think about this puzzle. So Smurfett says this area is also secretly 2 areas because they ran out of room on the enemy sprite sheet. That's funny. Did they only allow a certain number of enemies in a field? Is that why? A certain number of you know, unique types of enemies. So yeah, so Worse Than You. I was gonna I'll come back and figure out all the bits that I don't really understand after I finish the whole thing, because I'm worried that it might help me. But I appreciate the offer. God, so now I have... It's funny, but I went from having no theories, like absolutely zero theories, because I had tried everything I could possibly think of in this room. I had pulled out every item and pushed every button, and I was out of ideas. But now when I started thinking about the joy, open, close, anger again, now all I've got are theories. I see. So because of the way they do sprite sheets, they're necessarily limited in the number of unique enemies they can have. Is it just enemies that is on a sprite sheet? It's all sprites. So pots and things as well, I guess. I have no idea. No idea. Common enemies. Okay, so they have separate sprite sheets for different stuff, presumably for floor stuff and enemies separately. I'm not even sure what I want to look at. I mean, it's not even much of a pattern. It doesn't seem to me. These rooms, with faces, I believe I've selected them all. The common enemy sprite sheet covers all enemies and things that appear in more than one area, like bats, skeletons, all types of pots, one-way doors. Okay. What about stuff like floors and, like, impassable floors, impassable walls? Is that a different sprite sheet? I mean, I don't really need to know this. I'm just kind of curious, I guess. It's not gonna... I'm not gonna be editing La-Mulana very soon. I'm surprised people haven't made like custom levels. I just mean, like, presumably this block, this pillar is a tiled thing. There's like a sprite for the base. There's a sprite for, let's say, I don't know how much is tiled, 64 something, 32 something, I don't know. And there's another sprite for the top. Okay. So there's another texture sheet used for the map. Got it. Right. Things like this this block is probably a sprite, so to speak, on that texture map. It's a texture, I mean. Right. So this to me, this is like it's meaningless. There's no shape to this. They all, to anger, anguish. You can't even say that they all are different. Like, this one has joy, anger, anguish. This one has joy, anger, anguish. But otherwise, they're all different. Then there's duplicates in 2 of them. I mean, this is the most mishmashed bag of nonsense. Custom levels are work. I guess, yeah, but people do love La-Mulana. I guess I'm just surprised that level designers haven't made custom puzzles, at least, the same way you might do Mario Maker levels. Hmm. Oh, I see. I see. But because of the work that that you two have done to figure out the format of the data, is it do you know enough now to theoretically make custom levels? Hmm. It's I can't I mean, why is making layers hard? So there's a skull layer, there's a big skull layer, then there's a small skull layer. Then there's these floors and walls. And then there's, I guess, the sprites on top of that. Oh, well, I guess the question is, why hasn't anyone made an editor? Why does this room have sorrow? What I don't get it. Because all the people interested enough to work out how to read map files are in your chat room. Yeah, I guess that that answers the question. But to play the devil's advocate, I did see that somebody made a what do you call it? A randomizer. So there's some interest in extra La-Mulana, extra Lana, and I mean, Mario Maker's so big. You'd think that. Come on, Fairy, open Joy, please, open Joy. We gotta open and close Joy and Anger. So open it. But yeah, so... Oh, darn it. What was I saying? Mario Maker is popular. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I figured that the randomizer is just for switching items around. Worse than you says that he's very lazy. Oh, wait, how did I fall? I was on a block. Did the block move while I was paused? Now I'm just kind of curious. Huh. Oh, yeah, ooh, when it stops, it slide off. Okay, all right. Good to know. I was kind of hoping, against all odds, that the fairy would somehow open one of these phases. I still feel like there's something in this room because of these fire things. I don't think the art team was just sloppy. Yeah, I started watching some Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past randomizer speed runs, and it's very entertaining. Yeah, I can imagine that the game itself is not really built for doing this kind of thing, but people are, I guess when people are motivated, they can be quite ingenious. Joy, open, close, anger. I mean, there aren't any rooms with 4 symbols. I mean, there are only 3 symbols total. But I can't do anything to the 3rd symbol. It's not like I can rotate it or something. Like if it represents open, I can't change it to closed. There's only 2... No, there's only 1. This is the only one with 4 symbols in it. So this is the only room with 4 symbols. Joy, anger, open, close. I don't get it. Open, close, open, open, close. So I also thought that maybe these mantras meant things like birth is joy and death is anger or something. But I don't think that's the case. Open and close. I'm just getting the screenshot of the room 33 open. On the bright side, you must be getting good at all these rooms, not that you want to come back here ever. Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's very strange because the punishment in Hell Temple is to force you to revisit rooms, including really shitty rooms. You kind of practice speed running it naturally. But yeah, I don't think that that's going to be a thing that I do if I ever beat it. So I just opened a picture of room 33. And I'm kind of thinking, now I don't have any real reason to believe that room 33 is connected to room 4. This is the only one with 4 faces. But there's 4 levels of platforms. And there's sort of 4 levels of platforms in room 33. But I don't know. If I were to make a level, my plan would be to revive the 4 removed block puzzles from Endless Corridor, the 2 from Classic Hell Temple, and the other one in this hell. And then stick it where hell is. Yeah, I did like the block puzzle in Hell Temple. It wasn't too much of a stretch to figure out that you had to use the ferry. But other than that, I liked it. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm thinking. I don't have any good ideas. As much as I like the block puzzles, though, I kind of don't know if it's... Like, I think what I like so much about La-Mulana, the game, the real game, not Hell Temple, is the feeling of exploring. I really got that playing through, and that's pretty exciting. I think the game needs more of whatever gives you that feeling. Yeah, of course. It's definitely hard. I'm not a level designer or anything. I don't know what I'm talking about. I just play games. I don't know what to do. Don't know what to do. Don't know what open and close is. I mean, except for, again, this, like, to get between joy and anger, you have to open and close. Like, God, isn't that exactly the clue? But the door's there to keep you from going to the dais. I mean, I take it you like the block puzzles as a thing in the ruins. I never made it to the Endless Corridor floor 4 in the original. I don't know how far I got, but I don't think it was very far. So the topmost one has 4. Yeah, no, that's nothing. Choosing to break breakable floors. So many questions. Why? Or is it 4 tablets? Why are they in this shape? There's no shape in the map. There's no pyramid shape. Why are they in the shape? Why is it 4 tablets and not 1 tablet? Is it that they're trying to say there is no order? Or are they trying to say there is an order? Which would be better done with commas. But what if the faces aren't joy and anger? What if it's like human and animal and squid, and if you combine 2 humans, a werewolf, and a squid, you get clothes. I don't know. Like this room is joy or something like that. But even that, what does that mean? What do I do with that information? All right, ninjas. So this, like, most of the rooms, well, it's also crazy. Except for these 2, all these other rooms have at least 2 symbols. So, like, what do you get when you combine human face and squid arms? You get Cthulhu, who is angry. So this is anger. Oops. I mean, because, like, they're so low res, I still don't, like, this isn't joy. It looks like a face. Barely. It looks like, you know, maybe he's smiling. So maybe happiness, but joy seems like too big. I still have no fucking clue what this is. It's like a witch. It's tentacles and thorn vines, branches, something. Are these the four joy, open, close, anger? Four faces. God, I wanna cheat so bad. So it's getting really tough. It's interesting, those respawn and the other enemies don't. It's like the room in the Inferno caverns with the block puzzle. Like maybe I'm supposed to do something here. Yeah, I mean, so, okay, so open and close could be like birth and death. So what if I use birth and death in a room that has joy and, where is it? Joy and anger. Do I have a room that has joy and anger? I mean, Tiamat has joy, anger, and anguish. There's no room that has just joy and anger. Oh, yeah? So Smurfton says they respawn because, strictly speaking, they never died. So it's something to do with the way that those minds work. They disappear or something. Is that why I guess they don't drop soul shards because of that? I mean, how ridiculously obscure would it be to have to chant the mantras for birth and death because of some tablets that say open and close in different rooms? I mean, that can't possibly be it. Oh, man. So I was just thinking, birth and death are like open and close. And back when I was doing everything I could think of in room 33, I tried chanting all the mantras. And I had that idea that birth and death are like open and close. But now that I have this additional idea with the faces, maybe I'm supposed to go to a room that has joy in it and chant like birth. I don't know how it would work because there's 4 tablets. None of the rooms have joy and anger in them alone. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But that's the idea. Kind of want to see if the rooms spell out one of the numbers. really. Okay. And I still have no clue what that block is. And I have a feeling that if I knew, it would help at least somewhat. Oops. I mean, this is going to open up. I'd bet a nickel. What the fuck is open close? There's only 3 faces. So, is it just these faces don't have anything to do with the tablets? I don't think so. I think it's joy and anger. Smurfton, it really doesn't have anything to do with this door over here in 25. Like you promise? Ah, it's so good. It's a door. It opens and closes. It's between. It's so good. How did they leave that in? And that's not the solution. That's like those, someone asks you a riddle and you say, oh, well, this is the answer. And they go, no, 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 something else, something else. Yeah, because I asked him. Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's true. I mean, it's the perfect solution. Worse than you, because in 25 it has that tablet that I believe is joy, and you have to go through a door. So you open it and you close it, and then you drop down to 26, which has anger. So it goes joy, open, close, anger. It's the perfect solution. Man, I don't know. Joy, anger, anguish. Anguish, anguish. Anguish, joy. Joy, anger, anguish. Man, man, man. I think ever since... Yeah, I don't know. I think I stopped enjoying Hell Temple around the chasm. The chasm, I mean. I guess that's not true. After 25, I stopped enjoying Hell Temple after 25. And so it's like, why am I doing this? I do not know. This was all cute and fun. I really liked the water pillar room. That was cute. I thought this block puzzle was good. 11 was a great room. You can't argue with elephants. Yeah. Uh, 19. Oh yeah, the little mini boss. Why is 19 harder on hard mode? How is it different? Because there I used the lamp of time, and I unless you think it's going to be spoilery, I think I'm okay if you tell me. I mean, unless you think I'm going to get some kind of information out of it. But I feel like they're just going to change the enemies, right? So I don't know the names of the um, dimensional corridor mini bosses. Is Mushusu the last in the real game? It's the last one. Because that's who I fought. But I used the lamp of time, and so he was easy. Yeah, he was super easy with the lamp of time. But he has twice as much hit points, I guess, in the hard mode. Is that what you're saying? He already has. Okay, so he has more hit points. Yeah, I noticed that. So he just the first time I fought him, he pushed me into the pit, which at the time drove me crazy. But yeah, I assume you could do it without the lamp of time, but I I don't care. I mean that I bought all 4 rounds of ammunition or whatever because I'm well at this point I'm willing to shoot somebody with a gun just to advance. Yeah, the witch's room is impossible. I mean, not impossible. It's insane, is what I mean to say. The fact that they make you go through 25, 26, 27, 28 to get to 30, that's what pisses me off. I feel like that's mean. Yeah. So, worse than you, the way that I beat 30 is I killed the witches first with But yeah, I guess if it's a white witch, you can't use the shield to block, so that actually makes that quite a bit harder. Wow. You kind of have to fight. You have to do it with the witches alive. That sucks. Why? Why? Oh. Okay. All right. I don't know what to do. And I feel like there's so many options and so many possibilities now. Oh man, I can't wait to see it. I'm really looking forward to seeing a run of this without glitches. Yeah. Okay, let me ask you this. This is going to be, you know, slight spoiler number 2. Do you think I can figure out this puzzle? Or is this puzzle unreasonable? I think you can figure it out, and it's a little unreasonable, and both of you agree. Jesus Christ. All right, then I won't give up. But I think I will call it a night, and I'll sleep on it. And hopefully come up with some kind of strategy. I haven't found anything that confirms that these faces have anything to do with the tablet. That's number 1. I don't have any reason to believe that they have anything to do with the puzzle in 33. That's number 2. I think I counted to 3. I don't know anything. It's all unknowns, which is like, it's complete hunch at this point. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Worse than you. I would never. So I was telling Smurfton that I have a friend who's playing through La-Mulana Unspoiled, and I've been begging her, please let me tell you just some really high level tips, like make a map, read all the tablets, take pictures of the tablets, trust the tablets, things like that. And she says she doesn't want any of it. And at the same time, I feel like I can tell her, well, except for 4 puzzles or so, I think you can figure out everything. It just is going to take a lot longer than if you'd go through knowing how important the tablets were to begin with, things like that. But with Hell Temple, I don't think I'd recommend anybody play this. It's not fun. It's unreasonable. Yeah, I just don't like it. Except for room 22, you'll probably like. Except for room 22, you'll probably like that when you see the actual logic. Except for 22. Oh, 22. I see. Yeah, yeah. I don't know how this works, but I'm looking forward to it. I like the first fist. I have to say, that was good. Which 4 do I have in mind? I would say the mantras. Yeah. But you disagree. I mean, even knowing... The thing about the mantras is, you don't really even know that you have to chant mantras to solve the puzzle. Like, you get a stick that allows you to chant mantras, and you learn mantras, but you don't really have any idea that you'd have to go through and find one room in the game to chant a particular mantra. Like, I just don't think that that gameplay element is conveyed. The way to give out tips to people who don't want them is to ask not obvious leading questions. Maybe. I feel like there's still tips. I mean, you know, I've pushed back on you giving me information. It's a small translation issue there. Yes, 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 yes. Drive the wedges from the heels or whatever it says is not clear at all. I mean, heels certainly doesn't mean backside. And even if it did mean backside, like, I still don't understand why the front and the back for, what is it, the Gate of the Goddess, Tower of the Goddess? Why are they both in the backside? That doesn't make any sense to me. Why is the mantra in the backside? Aren't the mantras supposed to be in the front? I don't even know. I don't know. So maybe the wedges all come from the backside, but the front side, but the mantras can be in either side? And if that's the case, then, I mean, God, just finding the mantras is bad enough. Like, what's the one that's like in the Inferno Cavern? Look for the snake above the spikes. There's snakes and spikes all over the place. Yeah, so anyway, we could disagree on that, but I think that one is certainly, I would give up on it far before I figured it out. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, there's really so many things. It's so many things that if you don't get it, if you don't understand, if you don't understand exactly what the tablet means, you're not going to know what to do. But in retrospect, it's like, oh, I see how the tablet is saying that. So, like a lot of the Gate of the Illusion, what is it, bend a knee where there's a lone weapon or something? It's not even that clear. It's more obscure than that. The going into the pot like Mario in the the Mausoleum of Giants, I think that's really, really, really hard to find. Because where else, why would you think you could go inside of a pot? That's not a thing you can do anywhere else in the game. It's not a thing that you've been taught to do. It's incredibly obscure. I don't know. I mean, it's... When you think about how many possibilities there are. So I watched her play, and she found the Temple of the Sun, how you can go under the sun. I'll read that in a second. You can go under the sun, and so she was like, oh, what's this for? And she walked back and forth. She found the switch over here to the left. And then she tried whipping the sun, okay, which is great. That's what you have to do. It killed her. And her conclusion was, this is just a trap, and she moved on. She didn't realize that it opens up a whole passage, which means that she's doing other stuff. She's doing other stuff, and she thinks that's a dead end. She's never going to come back to that. She's not going to know that she has to go through there. So it's just things like that where if you don't get them your first time, like I feel like you're just not going to get them. Breaking it was right in Classic. Oh yeah. So Smurfton, a great example of that is in the Gate of Illusion, where you have to put the weight on the skeleton. I think that one's terrible because you never put weights on skeletons in anywhere else in the game. I think that's a terrible, terrible, terrible thing. I don't know how you'd ever know that. How would you ever know that? How would you ever think that? It's a skeleton. Oh, I mean, I'm sure that there's a hint that makes sense in retrospect. You do it in Chamber of Birth, but you can't. Can you even get to Chamber of Birth? So the thing that I like about the Chamber of Birth puzzle is that you have this much space in which to do stuff. So you try everything. But in the Gate of Illusion, you have this much space. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's exactly what I think. So I think it's a bad puzzle in the Gate of Illusion, but it's a good puzzle in the Chamber of Birth. Fool who relies only on what his eyes do see shall wander the labyrinth for eternity. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think the Gate of Illusion is just basically kind of bullshit. Like, even, like, I like it thematically. I like the idea that you're supposed to try new things, and I just don't think it works. I think it's too complicated. The fact that one of the teleporters puts you at a location where you can walk right now, but it's not clear you can walk right. So it's after you go in the pot and then go in the next teleporter, you can walk to the right to go up a ladder. But it doesn't look like you can walk to the right. It's so stupid. I don't know. I feel like Gate of Illusion relies on you knowing that every puzzle is restricted to the new space. The problem with the game in general is that you don't know that the puzzle is restricted to the new space. And it's why I spent 3 hours in room 33 trying everything I could possibly think of. Yeah. So if the maidens appeared occasionally. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think there's a lot of improvements that could be made. I don't know. I'm trying to think. So I've played through the game like 3 times. One time on hard mode. And even in my third playthrough, I still got stuck, you know? And it's like, what am I supposed to do? And it's kind of like, there's just so many places you can go and so many possibilities that unless you keep really detailed notes, you're going to miss something. Yeah, so Worse Than You, that's something that I like in the classic version a lot better, because when you there's like I think an invisible ladder to the right of the tablet, and so it really is a difference between should I go left or should I go right. They're both bad. Oh, I go up. That's great. That's a great puzzle. But in the new one, you have to scan something, and then in a different place, you have to walk around down the ladder and then fall. That doesn't make any sense. I think that's a terrible puzzle. it's stupid. Smurfin says you aren't enjoying this. I don't think this is a satisfying puzzle. This opening 33 to 34, yeah, I'm not enjoying it, but so yeah, I'll just say Gate of Illusion as the whole thing. I mean, I don't think you can do it unspoiled without spending like 30 hours. Yeah, that's the problem with those hints. It's the problem with the hints is if they only work in retrospect, they aren't really hints. They're just designed to make you feel dumb or something. I don't know. They're just vague. I mean, sometimes I wonder if there's maybe a little bit of the hints that were in the original Zelda. I don't know if you played the Zelda on the NES. And some of the hints were bad translations, and it's like, you know, Dodongo loves smoke or whatever. I don't know. The fool thought he was wise. The wise man went to the right. You know, what do you do? Oh, I go up. Oh, that's a beautiful puzzle. That's a good puzzle. But not scan and then an invisible platform opens up below you. That makes no sense. When I played it a couple of weeks ago. Let's say a month ago, after having not played it for a year. And I scanned it, and then I was like, what did that do? It could have opened up anything in the whole area. I thought that the drop-through was already there. It's I don't know, it's silly. I don't like it. But I'm ranting. Yeah, yeah. I think they wanted to play with people who played it before, like the puzzle in Twin Labyrinths, because you don't want it to ruin it for people who haven't played it. I don't know. I just think if you go and you look at the hints, like here's another good one that's early in the game. Let all that fly be cast down. Well, to me, that probably means don't jump somewhere. Somewhere where you want to jump, don't jump. That's the meaning to me. But it's just about the bats. It's very, very easy to not know where to apply the tablets, because some of the tablets apply 5 fields away, and some of the tablets apply on this screen, and it's really hard to figure that out. So I think even with the hints, it's just unfair. I mean, I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything other than the fact that you're going to be able to play through most of the game, but there's going to be parts that you get stuck on. Like, somehow I've basically managed to get here. And I lucked into things. I lucked into the door for Dracoid. I tried to use the doll, and instead of pressing Y, I pressed up, and I went into it. I don't know. I feel like a lot of the late game ones, they're in like you have to first learn La-Mulana, and then you go like to what's the one that's in the Tower of Moonlight, up at the top left. I just there's all sorts of tablets that apply to completely different fields. There's ones that are in the Temple of Mother, but like the back doors that apply to completely random places. There's one in that weird place in the Chamber of Extinction, the kind of the top place, that apply to all sorts of weird places. Going back to the mantras, the fact that dais in above the spikes has anything to do with the statue that's at the entrance of the... It's just all that stuff is so random, so obscure, that the only way a human who is unspoiled can do it is by wandering. But that's just my opinion. Luckily, I'm not on the La-Mulana 2 team. I didn't even realize that was in the Inferno Cavern. Because you have to go up to the surface. So I had no idea what field I was in. Okay, so I have an explanation for the lens snake in the statue, and it's beautiful. I don't think so. I mean, maybe. I mean, maybe it would if I paused. But the thing about that part is that you're only on it for 2 or 3 screens, and so I just didn't realize. I had decided to give this up. I'm still here. Joy, open, close. Yeah, I need to sleep on it. Okay. Okay, just put it in Discord, in the La-Mulana Discord, so I'll see it in there. I'm gonna shut down the stream, but say it in Discord. I'll be in Discord. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll try to figure out what to do here at some point, and give it another shot later. So thanks.